everybody, and welcome to my presentation. So for my project, I took a choral piece that we sang at the spring concert in sophomore year, arranged it for bells, and gathered this talented group of musicians to play it. So we'll be playing it in a minute, but first I want to give you a little background about handbells and my interest in them. So when I was in middle school, 6th to 8th grade, at Zion, I was in the handbell choir, and I loved it. And when I graduated, there was no way to continue with that, so I thought that for my project it would be a perfect way to revive that passion and get back into ringing. Handbells, a little background on the bells themselves. Bell ringing has always been sort of associated with religious traditions, especially Christian traditions and like church bells. So handbells originated from tower bells, which you played in a church tower, but those are kind of big and cumbersome and hard to ring, so eventually they decided, well, let's just make small bells that you can ring with your hands, thus handbells. And what makes these kind of bells special, these are called English handbells, and there's a few special things about them. Namely, they're in their tone. There's what's called a 12th overtone, so not only do you hear the note as it's rung, but you hear this kind of extra sound, frequency, that gives it that bell tone. And so if you look at the handouts, if you don't have one, share with somebody. There's, inside the bell, this is called the clapper, and that's what strikes against the rim of the bell to make the sound. And at the base of the clapper, there's these two washers. And that's how you keep the bell from back swinging. So you'll notice that when I ring the bell this way, it rings really easily, but when I ring it back this way, it doesn't ring. And that's because the front washer is tighter than the back one, so when you try to back swing the bell, the washer stops it. Would anybody like to try ringing a bell? Come on up, come on up. So, I'm going to have you wear gloves while you ring the bells, and that's just to protect them from like any finger oil that's on your fingertips. Anybody else? Come on, surely more of you want to try this. It's pretty fun.
I want to try it. I've watched you all these years.
All right, so when you've got a glove on, at least one hand, it doesn't really matter which, if you're right-handed, left-handed, whatever. So pick up a bell. Doesn't really matter which bell. So hold it, you want to hold it like this. There's a little bell symbol on the front of the bell, on the handle, and so you want that facing towards you. You want that facing towards you, and hold it with your hand as close to the top of the handle as you can. Hold it really, really firmly like that. There you go. Then put it up next to your chest like this, and it's kind of a circular motion. So you ring it in a circle, and when you get to the bottom of the circle, you flick your wrist. Yeah! Interesting. And so be really careful not to clink the bells together, because that's really bad for the bells. So give yourselves a little space. Nice, okay. All right, good job, guys. If you want to try a different size of bell, if you've got a big bell and you want to try a small one, go for it. All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for trying this. All right. Can have a seat. Who wants to hear some music?
Yeah.
Okay. So this first song that we're going to play, so the group of songs, it's called 5 Hebrew Love Songs. It's by Eric Whitaker, and there's 5 short pieces in it. So the first one that I'm going to play is Temunah, and this just has bells, and if anyone can spot a technique that I use in here, I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but if you spot it, keep it in mind. right, while they're setting up for the next piece, I'll give you a little introduction to chimes, because that's what are used in this piece. So chimes are often used in conjunction with handbells. They're a little different from bells. This is also on your handout. You've got a diagram of a chime. The most notable difference is that the clapper's on the outside instead of the inside. So instead of the clapper striking the inside of the bell and making it vibrate, the clapper strikes the chimes and makes those vibrate, and the tone of these is very different. And so in handbell and chime music, these are often used for a slower, more reverent tone. And so you'll see that's how I use them in this piece. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about different techniques you can use when you're ringing bells, because not only can you ring the bells just in a normal straight ring, you can also make kind of dynamics with the bells, volume dynamics. So these two techniques are called the swing and the echo. So swing looks like this. You may have seen it in the first song. And that creates this decrescendo, crescendo, so it gets softer and then louder again. And that just creates some kind of texture. And then can somebody show me an echo? Mm-hmm. Cool, right? So I use that in the bass clef for this song. So look for it kind of over here. And that's just kind of to give it a little more sense of a beat in the bass clef. So. setting up the next piece, I'm going to talk a little bit about how the music is set up. So in each person's binder, can I just borrow your binder for a second? They've got highlighted notes. So each note is highlighted with a different color. And that helps, because there's a lot of notes in these songs, right? So that helps for the people who aren't as good at reading music. 2 minutes? Okay. Okay, well, we'll go faster then. The next piece is a solo for me that I wrote because I realized that I wasn't getting to play any bells. So here we go. And thanks to Chris for the piano accompaniment. Song is Kala Kala, and I packed as many techniques as I could into it, so look down at the bottom of your sheet and you'll see the notation for some of these techniques and see if you can figure out which ones they are. that's all the time I've got, so if you have any questions, find me later. I can do questions now? Okay, does anyone have any questions? Miriam? It's fun. I wanted to do it because it's fun. Oh, so I'll explain what those techniques were. Okay, actually, I have a better idea. Does anybody have a guess? Which technique? What technique is that? Natasha, you know you're in handbells. Does anybody have a guess which one that is? Look at the bottom.
Martellado.
Yes, that's a martellado. Okay. Which one is that? No, Natasha, you can't answer. That's my sister. That's a shake, yes. Okay. No, we've already done that. Okay. What else is on the page? I don't have a copy of it because I gave them all away.
Thumb tap.
Oh, a thumb damp, yeah. That's a thumb damp. You put your thumb on the bell casing, that's how you make a staccato in the treble clef, and the way you make a staccato, which is a short note, in the bass clef is... You don't have one of those. Oh, okay. Put it quick, because this is cool. All right, does anybody have any more questions?
How much did all these bells cost? Did you rent them?
So I was very lucky to be able to borrow these from Zion Lutheran Church and School, so that's a big thank you to them. So, yeah.
Welcome. Yes.
I'd also just like to thank all the staff at Zion because they were really supportive in letting us use the church for practice and use the bells and all that. Any last questions?
How do you go about writing your piece?
So I took the choral version of the piece, which I actually have here, and it was written for 4 parts, soprano, alto, tenor, and bass, and piano. And I took all of those parts and consolidated them down to just all for bells or all for chimes. And like in some cases, I would use the chimes for the voices and the bells for the piano part. So one of the songs, As I Show Leg, that was how I did that one.
Did they all learn their parts on their own, or did they learn them all as an ensemble?
So we had, I don't know, 6 or 7 practices. We never actually had everyone all together until now. So, how many of you, this was the first time you had ever touched a handbell? Before this, you had no idea what a handbell was. And they learned how to do all of this in 2 months. So it's not as hard as it looks.
I would like to direct a question to one of your musicians. What surprised you? Because many of you are gifted musicians with other instruments. What was it like playing bells?
I think one thing that's interesting, you're not really playing a melody, you're playing your 2 bells. So instead of playing a song, which you might have a song in your head, you're kind of at this awkward rhythm that you have to get used to. And so definitely practicing when we didn't have a lot of people was hard, because if you're coming in on the 3 and then the next measure of a 2, it's really kind of a little confusing, but it's hard to get used to just playing 2 notes or 3 notes instead of the piano where you can play every note, or the guitar.
Any more questions?